pure gold. He knows that the crown is either pure gold or it may have some silver in it. So I've already done some annotations here. Archimedes figures out the volume of the crown is 125 and its mass is 1.8. He also knows that 1 kilogram of gold has a volume of 50 and a kilogram of silver has a larger volume of 100. Is that crown pure gold, and how would you figure it out? So what do we know about the crown? We know that it's 125. That should be the volume. And we also know that it weighs 1.8. So if it's pure gold, 1.8, you would multiply it times how much pure gold is per centimeters cubed. So in other words, 1.8 times 50. So let's do that first. And the answer should be 125 if it's pure gold. So if I come here and I go 1.8 times 50, what answer does that give me? That's 90. So if it was pure gold, then the answer should have been 125 in terms of what it is. So what did we just find out about this? So we just found out this, that the crown is not pure gold. The crown is not pure gold. Because the weight of the crown does not lead to the correct volume if it was pure gold. So the correct volume should have been, if it was pure gold, 90. In this case it would be centimeters cubed if it was pure gold. Instead, the answer is 125 is the volume. That leaves room for another material that's in the crown. So that leads us to number 2. In number 2, if the crown is not pure gold, then how much silver must be in it? So again, we're going to go from the prompt and say, how can we do this mathematically to know what is the mix then of gold and silver in that crown? And what do we know? So let's start with, first of all, the weight of what we know. We know that the weight of the crown is 1.8. But we don't know how much gold or how much silver there is to add up to 1.8. So the equation is going to be x plus y equals 1.8, where x is the weight of the gold, y is the weight of the silver. Now, we have two unknowns. Now, one equation, two unknowns, we can't solve it, so we need more data to have a second equation to be able to solve this. So what else do we know? Well, about volume. So what do we know about the volume of the crown? And we know the volume of the crown is 125. Now, the rate in terms of volume for gold is 50, and that's x. And for silver, it's 100, and that's y. So now we have two equations and two unknowns where we can then solve to know how much we have of each. So I'm going to go back to Desmos, and I'm going to erase this. I'm going to put in the two equations. So 1.8 equals x plus y. I'm also going to put in 125 equals 50x plus 100y. So I'm going to write in, that's called a system of equations. Now, what I am looking at is right here, right, where they intersect. So what are those two lines cross? What's the x and what's the y value? So I just found that x is 1.1 and y is 0.7. So let's go back to this. So x is 1.1, y is 0.7. The question is, if the crown is not pure gold, then how much silver is in it? Well, is x or y the silver? Y is the silver. So the crown has 0.7 kilograms of silver in it. Done. And that's it. That was your task for today for that. So Mr. G Math, over and out. Good job doing your work. And until next time.